But you know this perception of okay, what's called WNBA female they want to get paid the same amount as the male.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the NBA players. Yeah. So there's always this back and forth about.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you go and watch, I mean, I love women football. I watch it.
Stop.
Yeah. No joke. You see what I'm saying? That's why I was actually surprised you're about to sponsor a women's team to carry it.
Okay, thing is that WNBA, they are not as intense. They are not as.
Oh, of course, we all know that.
So they're not bringing as much money. So they
don't bring as much money. Nowhere near.
And the fun thing is that it's even the NBA that is not paying them.
Exactly. So there's no argument. There's no justification of that.
But their football team, their football female team are collecting some money. The national team.
But I mean, that's up to them. But I just feel the fact that the female team in America actually started making more noise years ago, way before the
around 2015 we're going to
they're already winning tournaments before the male team started performing decently in tournaments. So,
well, how much does the tournament pay?
I mean, seriously, I still don't feel they should be getting more money because I mean I'd rather watch it's more exciting, it draws more crowd.
It seems that even the female teams that have been winning since, if you add all the money they've been making since they've been winning
all their World Cups.
All their World Cup, it's not up to the money.
You know the funny thing is that most people don't understand proportions.
Yeah.
The men, in fact, they stole the men's money to give the women. Did you know that women actually get a higher percentage than the men do?
Yeah.
Remember?
Or got paid out from a pool of $30 million from the Women's World Cup. The men would draw from a pool of $400 million, okay? $400 million, $30 million. Why is that? It's because the Men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue. Mm-hmm. The Women's World Cup generates $131 million in revenue. If you want to talk about pay disparity, the Women's World Cup players get paid out 20% of the total revenue. The men get paid out 7%. As a percentage point, they are getting much more. The problem is, for anybody desiring equal pay, and by the way, I think equal pay is a ridiculous concept in and of itself. If the women generate more revenue, they should get paid more than the men. Don't strive for getting the same, strive for getting what you're worth. And if you're worth more, then get more.
Doing really good. They won World Cups and tournaments. So maybe it's because of that, because the male team hadn't really progressed past any stages for a long time.
Fair enough.
So maybe that's the angle they're looking at it from. Other than that,
that's the thing they always shout. They always shout that we win all these tournaments, but they're not paying us the same. They're not paying us as much as the men are. Yes, you win, but okay. Let me just give this example. There's a boy at I think it was Beijing, right? He beat Michael Phelps, right? And Phelps won the silver. He won the gold, and he won maybe $250,000 from the Singaporean government. America, like if Phelps won other,
I believe Phelps is probably.
He won others, but they didn't give him 250,000. They gave him like 50.
Are you for real?
Yes, because America wins a lot of trophies. So if America wins a lot of gold medals,
it's no big deal.
So it's no big deal, and if you give everybody $250,000 the same way you are crying about the Singaporeans, there won't be any money to give. So it's the same thing with the men. The men can get, if they're getting just common 6%.
6% is huge.
6% becomes huge because it's from a larger pool of money than the 70% of whatever trash money that nobody cares about. You know? So it's insane. The NBA girls, they all know they are wrong.
They know.
Nobody cares.
They know.
Brittany, what's her name? Brittany Griner. The one that got arrested in
Russia.
She was saying something about how she can play one-on-one with, who was it she was mentioning, or she can play in the NBA. And she's very close to, apparently, with Kevin Durant, KD. They're good friends. Even KD dropped the video saying, Brittany, stop.
Please.
Yeah, come on.
Please. Don't do that. Don't say things like they don't have respect. We sent them to school, they lost respect because they know how to read or something. And it's insane. It's like that woman, Claressa. She said she can beat Triple G. She said it.
I can't stand that chick. I'm sorry. I really can't stand
You can't even beat your own hairline. You can't even beat your own hair.
I can't even wait for that chick to get knocked out by some other. Seriously, how are you going to come out with that kind of statement?
She said she can fight Floyd.
Please,
she said that.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Are you mad?
You're a
She
woman.
can't fight Ryan Garcia. She can't fight the worst boxer in any weight class in boxing.
So that's my problem with women.
You crazy. She
They
doesn't
don't
last
talk.
around.
And the thing is, the problem with women talking is that nowadays we have to listen to them.
Of course.
That's the problem.
You have to hear them out.
In those days when women were talking, like you could just tune it out.
You have to hear them out.
It's like stop.
Joke.
Oh,
Some of it, come on, but most of it, people, come on, please, are you for real? No. Doesn't make any sense.
It's ridiculous. Maybe she was watching China. Remember China in WWE? You know, China used to fight. She used to wrestle with guys.
China, that mostly chick.
Yeah.
And even then, WWE is we all know it's a setup. We did from the
No, she was a very good wrestler. She fight Triple H.
No, but
I grew up. My favorite moment in WWE history ever is when Kane, I think, what's her name, Tori Wilson. She cheated on him or something, and he was about to give her a choke slam, and she was like, "Oh no, I love you," and then he's like, the big red machine. He calms down. I know. So the commentators were like, "Oh yes, don't worry, Kate, she loves you." He now turns her around and gives her a tombstone, breaks her neck. I was like, "This is what I live for." So all of a sudden, there are like 10 referees watching the ring, and he was punching all of them. I was like, "What is this? Is the most epic thing I've ever seen in my life." Kane is just number one.
If anyone told me Kyrie talk like this, speaking like this about WrestleMania, about wrestling, knowing the kind of practical person he is. Yeah. It's funny to me.
But the funny thing, I watched that
video. And he defended his life too.
I watched that video recently. And I realized that I watched that video when I was 10 years old. And it stayed with me. Giving a bitch from Tombstone Power. I'm like, that's the dream.